Welcome to Random Adventure as we continue to explore the island of Pohnpei in the Federated States of Micronesia. Today, we are at the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Nan Madol. It's going to be fun. We're hiking. Come and join. We began our day at our hotel by getting on our bus for the hour and 15-minute drive south. This will be our 6th day on Pohnpei, and it is our recovery day after 5 days of diving. In order to fly, we need at least 18 hours without diving before we get on a plane, and spending it exploring the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Nan Madol seemed like a great idea. Coming into the parking lot, you can immediately see the large basalt columns and the bathroom, which, while not clean, did exist. And so we headed in from there, and we saw a quick freshwater eel as we entered the Nan Madol site. Getting to Nan Madol does require a couple of payments. There was originally a requirement to meet with a chieftain, but as volumes increased, that has turned into an entrance fee. So it is about $25 to the chieftain, $2 to each landowner, and your guide should pay that. There are a number of areas of basalt columns like this as you walk in, as the entire Nan Madol site is about 1 mile by 1/3 of a mile, and it encompasses 92 different inlets. The hike out to Nan Madol does take you through a number of areas that are prone to flooding at high tide every day. Due to this, the trail actually does have a couple of bridges that can be slick when wet, but is made mostly of stone and aggregate. This means that you need to wear some kind of footwear that both can take water and that has grip. And you'll have the opportunity to explore a number of neat canals, trees, and remains as you do your hike out to the main island. Nan Madol is made up of 92 artificial islands that are connected by tidal water canals. Each of these islands is filled with stone and coral and then topped with basalt columns. These were originally built around 1180 to 1628 by the Saudeleur dynasty, who came to Pohnpei, took over, and controlled the island for 16 generations. The original name was Sun Nan Lang, which translates roughly as Reef of Heaven, and some people have referred to it as an 8th wonder of the world or the Venice of the Pacific. Radiocarbon dating has set the dates for the megalithic construction at Nan Madol for about 1180 AD, when the large basalt stones were taken from a volcanic plug located on the opposite side of Pohnpei. Ultimately, Nan Madol was the ceremonial and political seat of the Saudeleur dynasty that controlled the Pohnpei Islands, and about 25,000 people from the 1150s until about 1628. Nan Madol was an elite center of residence for the politicians and a mortuary location for those who were passed that was presided over by priests. However, there were a number of islands where they did special purposes, such as food preparation, canoe construction, and coconut oil preparation. Today, the one that we all go to visit is actually the Royal Mortuary Inlet of Naduas, where the walls are 18 to 25 feet high, surrounding a central tomb enclosure with a main courtyard that was built for the first Saudeleur after his death. Nan Madol had about 1,000 people living in it when it was at its height. A number of the residents were chiefs, and the majority were commoners. It served as part of a way of ruling by the Saudeleur chiefs, as they could organize and control potential rivals by requiring them to live in the city rather than in their home districts. This enabled their activities to be able to be monitored and overseen, and to prevent rebellion. At the center of the main mortuary island, there is a tomb that was originally for the first Saudeleur king or chieftain. This is a very large box, and the basalt columns bridge over it. It is very interesting to look at and examine, and we spent a lot of time wandering around on top of it and around it, and just looking at the different play of light and shadow. Nan Madol has a lot in common with Lula, which is a similar archaeological site on Kosrae, a nearby island. However, the carbon dating has shown that Nan Madol influenced the construction of Lua, and so it is believed that Lua is a copy of Nan Madol to some degree. There is not much evidence about how Nan Madol was built. There is concrete evidence showing that the basalt came from a volcanic plug on the other side of Pohnpei Island, but the how they were put there or brought across is not known. The only thing that is a Pohnpeian legend. That legend states that Nan Madol was constructed by two twin sorcerers, whose names I can't pronounce, that were from a mystical island of western Katao. The brothers arrived in a large canoe and were seeking a place to build an altar to their god of agriculture. After a few false starts, both brothers were successful at building an altar and performed their rituals. This enabled the brothers to levitate the huge stones with the aid of a flying dragon. When the older one died, the younger one became the first Saudeleur chief after he married a local woman and then sired 12 generations, leading to 16 other Saudeleur chiefs of the Great Clan. Pohnpeian legend states that the founders of that dynasty are believed to have ruled kindly, though their successors placed ever-increasing demands on their subjects and eventually became tyrants. This reign ended in an invasion by Isokelkel, who also resided at Nan Madol, though his successors abandoned the site. Isokelkel is a semi-mythical hero warrior and demigod who founded the pre-modern Pohnpei sometime around 1600. He invaded the island, ended the oppressive rule of the Saudeleur dynasty, and instituted the decentralized chiefdom system that has survived to modern times. Many of the modern chiefs of Pohnpei trace their lineage to Isokelkel, and according to this legend, modern Pohnpeians are descendants of Isokelkel's invasion party. As you explore Nan Madol and touch the basalt columns and experience its massiveness, I can definitely understand why it is called the Venice of the Pacific and see how it was amazing. The biggest concern I've had is that it is on the list of World Heritage Sites that are in danger, and that is due to the silting of the canals, the mangroves coming in, and to the damage due to time and weather and the lack of maintenance. It is a time-limited place, and if you get the opportunity to see it in Pohnpei, I would highly recommend it. It is amazing and unique, and it is a joy to go and see. With that, we complete our last day on the island of Pohnpei. This was a great activity during our time of off-gassing post-dive days, and it is highly recommended. We had a great time. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one.